Welcome back to another Movies with Andy. Today's movie is How to Make a Killing.
Since the day I was born, my mother told me we were different. Yes, she had been disowned by her family. But someday I would become the sole heir. The real estate, planes, an island or two.
How to Make a Killing stars Glen Powell and Margaret Qualley. So Glen Powell plays Beckett Redfellow. So Beckett Redfellow's family is like rich in this movie. But Beckett is not, because he and his mom got disowned by their family after she got pregnant and had the baby. But he is eighth in line to inherit the big $28 billion inheritance. But how far would you go for $28 billion? But before I talk about this film, this movie review is brought to you by Te Salud. So Te Salud actually has a new flavor coming for the greens and superfoods. So I have the fresa limon, but the maracuya is launching on Monday. And if you use my code Andy10 that's on the screen right now, you get 10% off your order. And you can also get different flavors like the Paloma Hydration or the Mango one or the Energy one, which I never have anymore because I use them so much. Don't tell my wife. And I just got this new tumbler which replaced my old one, so I'm very excited. So make sure you go use Andy10 at checkout for 10% off. Thank you so much, Te Salud. And now back to the review. So let me start off with things that I liked from this film. First off, this movie was entertaining from beginning to end. It really piqued my interest right at the beginning to know what is happening, and it really just kept going all the way to the end of the film. And that is also thanks to the very charismatic Glen Powell. Glen Powell just does such a great job with this character because he's just so charismatic and so likable that the things he's doing in this film is not good at all. But he just does such an amazing job at some of the emotional scenes and some of the very funny scenes, some of the serious scenes. So yes, Glen Powell was my favorite part of this film. But he also does bring an amazing supporting cast as well. And Margaret Qualley does such an amazing job in this film, even though she doesn't come out too much. But every scene she does have with Glen Powell, they just have such a chemistry and they do an amazing job together. Also, the writing felt really smart and really fun. Like I said, it was really funny at times because of Glen Powell, but like that dark humor type of funny. Like, I'll talk about one of the death scenes in this film that is shown in the trailers. So he's trying to get rid of the 7 people on top of him so he can get his inheritance. So one of his cousins is passed out on a boat and he ties an anchor on him and he actually lets it go. And then the cousin wakes up and he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Hi, I'm Beckett." And then he goes straight into the ocean. So it's that type of comedy, the very dark comedy that you don't know if you need to be laughing at, but you just are. But then there are also just other funny scenes just throughout the movie as well. So the writer and director did a really good job with that in this film. And then there are some pretty smart death scenes in this movie. Something that took a little bit of planning, especially on Beckett's side, because he's not your professional hitman trying to kill his family, so he has some planning to do. So I feel like the writers just did an amazing job of planning and seeing what Beckett has to do to get rid of his family. And I also do like some of the twists and turns and obstacles that he has to go through in this movie. They just threw in a couple of curveballs that I really enjoyed and I didn't see coming actually. So that's always nice when I can see a movie and not expect what's going to happen. Oh yeah, one of the family members is Topher Grace and he plays like a pastor in this movie. And he just does a really good job of being a very modern pastor and, you know, just being full of himself. So that was just very cool to see Topher Grace playing this type of character. Oh yeah, and all the shots and the color grading in this movie are amazing. So whoever the cinematographer is and the editors, great job. You guys did an amazing job with this movie. And it was produced by A24, and you know that they produce some pretty high quality movies. Oh yeah, and I did say earlier, there are some emotional scenes in this movie. And it kind of tugs at your heartstrings a little bit, especially at the beginning of it, because there is a lot of tragedy in this movie. And you may think because of the family members getting killed off, but there's even more happening in this story. And it just really goes to show how far people will go to get the money and power that they want. So maybe someone will learn a lesson from this movie. And that was some things that I didn't really like. Honestly, there wasn't too many things that I didn't like. I really enjoyed this film, but there was one little thing that I feel like I couldn't get over. There was just way too many conveniences, which is not a bad thing because I don't go to the movies to see something realistic. But if you wanted it to be realistic, yes, there are so many things that have to happen for him to get away with all these murders. And that was pretty much it. So now, would I go watch How to Make a Killing in the theaters again? If you haven't been able to guess, yes, I would love to watch this movie in the theaters again. Glen Powell and the supporting cast do an amazing job in this movie, and the story is just so great as well. So I was actually lucky enough to go watch this movie on Monday for a secret cinema at Harkins, which was perfect because now I'm able to release a movie review earlier than usual. And I'm very happy that I was able to see this movie. So now, how far would you go for $28 billion? So let me know, are you watching How to Make a Killing in the theaters this weekend? And if you are, I would love to hear what you thought about this film in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more movie reviews every week.